All right, guys, welcome to our last Zoom lesson for ELA. This is a new unit that we're going to, I call it a unit, it's a new standard that we're going to be learning. So we did a lot of nonfiction. Now we are moving to fiction stories. Okay, and you're going to notice that a lot of things we're going to learn is kind of a review. We're just using fictional text. So just to get your brain juices flowing, tell me what you think, either in the chat or raise your blue hand, what you think is happening in this photograph. You also have to explain why you think that. Oh, I see the blue hands now. I'm assuming the blue hands are for this right here. Miss Samira, you have your blue hand raised. Ooh, that's a good question, Mackenzie. Why are some of them wearing boxes? Well, let's infer that. Why do you think they're wearing boxes? Sorry, Samira, go ahead.
I think they got some mail from somebody.
Ooh, why do you think that? Why do you think they have mail? They got mail.
I heard back in the day sled dogs used to deliver the mail because it was too snowy.
Oh, interesting. Okay, thank you for inferring and breaking it down and letting us know, using the evidence and what you know to tell us that. Okay, Jamari, you put in the chat they're boxcar children. Why do you think that?
Because there was a book that I seen. It was called Boxcar Children, because that's why I guess that they were boxcar children.
Okay, so you think because there's children and there's boxes, they're called boxcar children?
Yes.
Okay, cool. What do you think, Nellie? You said they want to be stylish. Can you explain?
They wanted to be stylish with the boxes.
Stylish with the boxes. So they're wearing the boxes. So this is like a fashion situation?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, could be the new look. I don't know. I want you to really think. Oh, Lee. Okay, before I move on, Lee says that he thinks they're doing a play because they have paper, okay, like a script. I like it. And the box could be a costume. Lee, I'm digging this. Okay, I'm going to take what lean towards what Lee is saying. So he is looking specifically at what the kids are wearing and what they're doing with the items that they are holding, right? So I want you to look at this jacket. I want you to look at these pants. They're kind of flared a little bit. Do you guys know the decade that people wore flared jeans or pants? Does anyone actually know that? Go away.
The 80s.
Say that again?
The 80s.
It was close to the 80s. It was more the 70s. Yes, the 80s kind of sort of wore it, but it was really big in the 70s. So we can infer, using the evidence, we can infer that this time frame was probably the 70s because of the type of jacket that's going on, the tucked in shirt there, the type of jackets, the flared jeans or pants. I love that. Do you guys want to hear what this picture actually is?
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks for answering. So these are a group of elementary school children. Oh, also the afro back there, digging it, love it. Elementary school children in Denver. What they're doing is they have made these viewing boxes. These viewing boxes they made to see a partial eclipse in 1979. Isn't that crazy? So it was probably a science class, I'm guessing, because if they're talking about the eclipse and stuff like that. So basically, I think what's going on is there's mirrors inside of there and whatnot, and they put it on, and there's some holes, and you can see the partial eclipse. So that's why the guy is like lifting this right here so he can also see what the guy's seeing. So I know, right, Nellie? Crazy. All right, here's the next one. What is happening in this photograph? Right, Fumi? I know, blew my mind too. Type in the chat, or you can raise your hand. Josiah, your blue hand is up. Did you want to tell us what you think?
It was up from earlier.
Okay, no problem. Haley, what about you, honey?
I think that they're doing a parade because someone is riding on a car. And if they were just driving down a road like a normal person, they would not be sitting on top of the car. They would be sitting in the seat.
That is a good point. Yeah, people don't normally sit on cars like that. One, because it's unsafe. When people are actually driving down a road, right? They sit in the car, buckled up. I love that. A lot of people actually said the same thing in the chat. They said it's a sorry, woo, you guys are blowing it up. Hold on. Mackenzie said it could be a festival or parade since there's a ton of people gathered together. Good point. Whenever there's a festival or something, you're usually lining the space, or a parade. Very good. A lot of people said parade. Lee said maybe a wedding. Lee, can you tell us why you think a wedding?
Because I know some people they like to ride from a wedding going to cars like that.
You were absolutely correct. Yes, and she's dressed super nice too, right? So when you're dressed super nice, you know, and it's tradition back in the day to leave a wedding, the couple in a nice car, on a car. Okay, she just became viral and then started a parade. I like it. Genesis thinks it's prom. Genesis, why do you think it's prom?
I think it's prom because she's wearing a fancy dress, and there's probably her crowd or family or people that she invited to the crowd.
Get it, girl. I love your thinking. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to scroll up and recognize Nellie. She said it's her Mexican 15th birthday because it's a big celebration. Now, Nellie, what made you think it was a 15th birthday? What made you think it was Mexico? So can you explain your thinking?
I think it was Mexico because that tall building in the back, it doesn't have part of the roof.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
And
3 people.
I think it's her birthday. It's her 15th birthday because it's something to do where girls then can get married. And so she has this big dress and sitting on the car.
All right. Thank you for sharing your thinking. Okay, drum roll. This is a picture of a girl for her 15th birthday, and it's actually located in Havana, Cuba. So they're in Cuba, and this was taken in 2018. Very good. Thank you, Mackenzie, for being so encouraging. She sent you a little message, Nellie. She liked how you're observing the setting. Very good. Thank you. We all should be kind like Mackenzie. Thank you. All right, guys, excellent job. So that brings me to what we're going to be talking about in this standard or in this unit. So we're going to really focus about quotes, okay? Let's talk about quotes. So in your own words, what is a quote? From the chat. Oh, that's not the chat. I didn't click the chat button. Hold on. What are quotes? Or you can explain why they're used or how they're used or the purpose of them. Jamari, I did not draw that. I wish I did. I think they did a pretty good job. Okay, Haley says that basically quotes, it's like you put quotes around encouraging words or encouraging sayings. Yes, I want to expand on that, Haley. I'm going to make you think. Why? Why do we put those quotes around those types of sayings? Genesis says a quote could be like for a word of a day or something nice. Ooh, I like this definition, Mackenzie. She said that quotes, like quotation marks or quotes, are used to retell words from someone else. I like how you said that. So basically, when you are using someone else's words, okay, the way you give credit to that person is not only telling someone saying, hey, giving the source where you got it, but the quotes, it show people that these are not your words. This is someone else's and you're borrowing them. So those quotes, quotation marks, help identify that. Very good participation, guys. I appreciate it. Okay, so that brings me to talking about and comparing quotes to a summary as well as a paraphrase. Okay, I think the newest thing for you is a paraphrase. So when you use quotes, this is the example up here, there's a little quotation marks. So we're going to talk about the difference. So we just talked about a quote. You're copying directly from the text, and that includes quotation marks, okay? It credits the author. It gives them credit. So you're just rewriting exactly what they say. Now, when we talk about a paraphrase, okay, we're going from quote to paraphrase, you're rewriting the idea in your own words. So basically, that's exactly what Mackenzie did in the chat. She used her own words to explain what a quote is. She didn't use the same words that I had been using in the past. She used her own, okay? So she paraphrased what she has been taught. You write it in your own words using your own voice and your own writing style. Okay, you translate the author's words into your own. So, for example, when I'm reading something to you guys and I stop and I explain what the author means, that's me paraphrasing what the author has said. Okay, you just let that sink in. And then a summary, you just summarize or retell the main idea of a text in your own words. And that's what we've been doing. I've been like shoving that at you with Esperanza Rising for a few weeks now. So it's a brief, more condensed version of what is happening in a story. So that includes key academic words, if you're talking about nonfiction anyway. It does not, you don't copy the author's sentences at all. So some kids, they were copying exactly what was from the text. If you do a sentence like that, you have to make sure you quote. But everything else is in your own words. Okay? And it doesn't include your opinion. That's something else. I think she felt like this. I think da-da-da-da. That's great and all, but when you summarize, you're actually just telling me summarizing what the author told you, okay? So make sure you say that in your own words. Your opinions are only needed when it's asked, okay? Always make sure you give credit to the author. All right, we're going to watch a couple videos, short videos. I believe we've already watched this one, but I want to spark your memory. And usually the second time you watch something, you see something new. So, oh, geez. Again, with the technology, Missy.
Hello, readers. Today, I'm in a courthouse watching people argue about laws so we can learn about the power of evidence. Evidence is essentially proof. It is the facts that help you know that something is true. Let's listen in. And, Your Honor, that is why we propose that cookies be made illegal. The prosecution rests.
Very interesting indeed. Objection, Your Honor. I may be a simple country lawyer, but even I can see that my opponent has neglected to offer up a single crumb of evidence in favor of banning all cookies, only heated and offensive anti-cookie slogans. Objection sustained. You will give evidence for your claims, or I will dismiss this case in favor of cookies. You have not yet proved that cookies pose a threat to public health. Show me where it says in our books of law that I even have the right to make this ruling. Both of you are going to need to give me evidence.
Okay, so you can see that there are a couple of things happening here. There's a group of people who want to keep cookies, a group of people who want to ban cookies, and in the middle of it, a judge who has to decide which group of people is right. So, she asked them for evidence. If you believe cookies are bad, what's your proof? If you believe cookies are good in moderation, what's your proof? Let's step out of the courtroom for a second and go to this example in a text. I'm in big trouble. I forgot to do the social studies project last weekend. In my defense, I did have a very unusual weekend. My stepdad, Zeke, unexpectedly picked me up from school last Friday because he got free tickets to the Dodgers game. Then, since the game got over late, we decided to stay at my grandma's house because she lives sort of by the stadium. In the morning, she asked if we could paint her garage. Of course we did, but it took all day. On Sunday, I'm sorry to report, I devoted my entire day to watching Voltron. Let's try answering some questions that require us to look back at the text for evidence. This is like the bedrock of any kind of writing. If you make a claim, you have to back it up with evidence. So, did the author remember to do their social studies project last weekend? No. And why do we know that? They say so in the very first line. I forgot to do the social studies project. Okay, that's easy mode, you're saying. Fine. What did the author of this piece do on Saturday? You'll notice the word Saturday doesn't appear in the paragraphs above, and yet I could tell you with confidence and direct support from the text. How? Well, let's go back and look at the text. My stepdad Zeke unexpectedly picked me up from school last Friday, and we keep reading. Then, since the game got over late, we decided to stay at my grandma's house because she sort of lives by the stadium. So, the author and their stepdad spent the night, Friday night, at grandma's house. The story continues. In the morning, she, the grandma, asked if we could paint her garage. Of course we did, but it took all day. Which morning? Saturday morning. I'm pulling information directly out of the text to support my answer. The author spent Saturday painting their grandmother's garage. Ooh, hold on, let's head back to the courthouse. I think the judge is ready to issue her verdict and decide the case.
This court will come to order, please. Order! Thank you. We've heard the arguments of the prosecution and the defense, both anti-cookie and pro-cookie, and now the time has come to give my judgment. The anti-cookie side presented a very interesting case, showing the effects of cookie exposure to teeth and the dangerous effects of having too much sugar and feeling all wibbly. But the pro-cookie side also gave very compelling evidence, showing that in moderation, a cookie can be a very tasty snack indeed, provided that you treat them for what they are, something to have every so often. This court finds in favor of the cookie. Thank you.
Wow, readers. I think we just witnessed something important and historic, and it couldn't have happened without the power of evidence. You can learn anything. David out.
All right, so I wanted to show that again because I thought it was actually a really good example of a reason, giving you a reason to provide evidence to back up your answer. That's something really, really big, especially in 5th grade. And as you get older, people are going to be like, well, why do you think that? You can't just say, because I think it. You have to have evidence. Evidence. Okay, we're going to skip that one. So we're going to do an activity together. Okay, so we're going to draw a line to match the quote from the text that supports each statement. Now, you probably noticed in your pretest that you were to either identify a quote that matches a statement, or you were given a quote and then you had to choose a statement to match it. I know, a lot confusing. Oh my goodness, why can't I click it? Oopsie daisy. Okay, make it bigger so you can see. Okie dokie artichoke. I'm going to read you the statements and then I will read the quotes. And I may sneeze in the middle of this, so I'm so sorry. Woo, tickle in the nose. All right, here's the first statement. Esperanza felt that Mama had given up. Esperanza struggled to find work in the shed because they don't hire women or kids. Esperanza really missed her mom and hadn't seen her much since she got sick. So those are our 3 statements. Now we're going to identify the quote that supports that statement. Okay, the evidence, if you will. This is the first quote. It's only men in the fields right now, and you're not old enough to work in the sheds. This quote is talking about working in the fields and the sheds. So I wonder which statement that goes with. Anyone know? Oh, I see hands now. Sorry, I didn't have everyone up. What do you think, Nell?
I think it is the second one in statements, because it says Esperanza struggle to find work in the sheds because they don't hire women or kids. And the quote says, it's only men's in the fields right now. And it says they don't hire women or kids, so it must be that one, because women can't be hired, only men.
Very good. Also stated here, too, is a key word there. Esperanza struggled to find work in the shed, right? Right here it says, and you're not old enough to work in the shed, right? Awesome. Thank you, Nellie. Okay, so we matched that statement with that quote. Here's this quote. I want you to think real closely. The nurses would let Esperanza stay with Mama, I don't know who that is, but Mama only a few minutes. The nurses would let Esperanza stay with Mama, but only for a few minutes. And I'm going to read the second one because you'll come across this where it may seem similar, so you need to also read the other options provided. It was as if, after all her hard work in getting them there, her strong and determined mother had given up. So now we're going to use the process of elimination, the strategy to eliminate if needed. So let me see. I think I had some people in the chat. I hope this is about the answers because I have a hard time looking at everything. I don't understand what one is. Okay. So it looks like some people said third option to number 2, or third option 1 to 3 is what I think you guys are saying. I'm following what you put in the chat. Can someone talk it through? Haley, do you have your hand up? Oh, sorry, Nellie. Hold on. You already went, baby. Thank you, though. Yes, Haley?
Okay, so what we mean by 1 and 3 is like, so the top of either one is 1 and then 2 and 3. So I think the one that says Esperanza felt that Mama had given up, and the one that says it was after all her hard work and getting them there, her strong and determined mother had given up.
And why do you think that?
Because they kind of just go hand in hand. Because, like, Esperanza felt like her mother had given up. And then it states in there, it says, and her determined mother had given up.
Excellent. Thank you for providing that evidence. You're right. Very good. Thank you, Haley. I love it. So can someone please explain to me why this statement, would go with this quote? Esperanza really missed her mom and hadn't seen her much since she got sick. Why would this statement or this quote support this statement? The nurses would let Esperanza stay with Mama only a few minutes. Who would like to, I don't know if Mackenzie, did you write in here yet? Do you think you could explain that for us, Mackenzie? Maybe. Are you there?
Sorry, could you repeat what you were trying to say? I was speaking to my mother.
Oh, that's okay. Yes, no problem. So I was just curious if you would be able to explain to us why this statement, the nurses would let Esperanza stay with Mama only a few minutes, would support this statement. Esperanza really missed her mom and hadn't seen her much since she got sick. Why would that quote support that statement?
Since Esperanza's mother was being isolated, Esperanza wasn't able to see her mother for very long. And since Esperanza's mother was sick, Esperanza started to miss her mother since she had no contact with her anymore.
Excellent.
I hope all that made sense.
It did. It did. Thank you so much. All right, perfect. Okay, I love this so much. You guys are like on a roll. And here's some little ones here. So these are the quotes. I'm going to read the quotes first. Oops, I think someone's here. Oh, cool. All right, I'm going to read the quotes first, and then I want you guys to identify which statement it goes with. So here's the first one. Sometimes sadness and worry can make a person sicker. Esperanza copied everything that Hortensia and Josefina did. When they took off their outer gloves and worked in thin cotton ones, she did the same. The doctor's bills and medicines had used up most of what they'd save. So I would love to hear from people, voices. Okay, so you got the quotes? Here's the statements. Esperanza's family was running out of money. Mama was very depressed. Esperanza was a very quick learner. Colin Salter, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so which statement matches the quote? Which quote supports the statement?
The quote that supports the statement is Esperanza family was running out of money, and the reason I chose that was because it says over here at the very bottom, the doctor's bills and medicines have been using up what they've saved.
Very good. So both are talking about money. We got that, right? And in order to run out of money, or some people run out of money when they have to pay for bills. Very good. Just like Colin said, excellent job. All right, Rebecca, I'm glad you're here, girlfriend. Okay, stay on after the lesson. Okay, we're almost done. Samantha, which one do you think would match Mama was very depressed? Which quote, the first one or the second one, would match that? Mama was very depressed.
The first one.
Okay, why do you think that? Mama was very depressed. Sometimes sadness and worry can make a person sicker.
Because sometimes when you're sad, you feel like you're going to erupt of tears and sadness.
Yeah, girl. Yeah, that basically sadness and worry is part of depression. Very good. Okay, so then process of elimination here. Can someone explain to me why this quote, Esperanza copied everything that Hortensia and Josefina did when they took off their outer gloves and worked in thin cotton ones? She did the same. Why would that quote support Esperanza was a very quick learner? Jeez. Yes, Samira?
I think why, because when it says Esperanza was a really quick learner, that's because she learned from Hortensia and Josefina about what she just looked at, and then just kept on getting information from them for what they worked for.
Yes, very good. When you are a fast learner, you really study what is going on, and you do what you're told. Very good. I love that. Thank you. Very good job, guys. So that is the introduction to us talking about direct quotes and inferencing and using what we know to explain or provide evidence to a statement or even an answer to a question. Very good job. Okay.